Hey everyone, this is Louis7 and I am streaming the Lord of the Rings online, and I am jumping in. I'm a little bit late here. Right here fighting worms right at the start as I'm trying to talk about this and trying to catch up with my group. So I'm going to be playing my Beorning, doing Dark Delvings here, the instance. The Moria instance with my kinship. And with the stream, I just got home a little bit late today. So that's why I was kind of late getting ready for and starting it a little bit after my group started, so I'm jumping straight into this, and I'm supposed to be the tank. It looks like they're doing okay. So I think I need to pull these guys to the light. So that's what I'm doing. So I know this intro is a little bit weird just because I'm, again, just starting up right in the middle of the instance, trying to get all my thoughts together. I pretty much just got done eating dinner and jumping straight into this. Normally I have some time to warm up and think about what I'm going to talk about and just that usual type of stuff, but I think everything's going okay. We are doing Dark Delvings, as I said. Oh, my audio's also all messed up. That's also bothering me. The audio for the stream should be fine, so it's just the in-game audio. Of course, the Discord audio is just through my headphones, but it's my headphones. The speakers on them don't always work correctly. So we're at the first boss here, and I think I got my audio all set up. What I just realized is you all might have heard, I'm actually not sure, but you all might have heard the in-game audio. Or it can later, I mean somebody talking on the in-game audio. Normally I have that off, so it's not like played back on the stream or anything, but I'm not entirely sure. And one thing, once I get my mind kinda in this mindset of doing the Moria instances and streaming, one thing today that I wanted to talk about maybe a little bit was just some of these Moria instances, and particularly in taking on the Beorning. One thing I've been thinking about, probably do it as a video topic, maybe, I don't know, I have so many video topics like queued up, so this might be something for early next year. Just talking a bit about classes and what should and shouldn't be viable. One thing with the Beorning, especially at this level and at low levels in general, I think most things are viable, most specs, but the Beorning, they're a versatile class, so they can go DPS, tank, or heal. The heal has a little bit of support. It's not really a support theme spec, but the support it has is very strong, so they're desired for their support at endgame. And then on top of that, they do have good healing and AoE healing. So it is a full-on healing spec, unlike Blue Line Captain, but kind of what I was thinking about what that is in relation to the Beorning is, should each spec be viable? And it's a topic that comes up a lot in LOTRO, especially with sometimes how slow balance is or something like that. Oh, everybody is scattered way throughout this room. I can't even see there. Maybe they're all like, oh, they got knocked off. Maybe that's what happened. I didn't even know you could go down there. Apparently there's a worm over here. Oh, the worm's inside there? That's weird. I have actually never been down here in this instance. I've run it quite a few times now. But I did not know you could go down here. That's really weird. There's water. But anyway, with that topic, it's just something I was thinking about and kind of during the downtime of the stream, as I usually like to have maybe a little topic to talk about when there's not too much going on, of course. It's very hectic for me here at the start. I'm already like a few minutes in and just introduced that as kind of my topic for today to talk a little bit about. I think we have to get the not sure who Rosburn is, but I think I know who they are. Okay. Because I'm used to, if anybody has followed this particular series on this Beorning, where we're running through the Moria instances, it's the level progression group and the kinship on an ore. Oh, looks like we got the ore unstuck. I am moving slowly. I guess we're in the dark. Getting a debuff plus a person incoming damage. I think that's from the thing he just did, a vile gust of wind sweeps through the passage. Shaking the walls, only the glowing rocks seem ineffective. So if you're in the light, I think you don't get that debuff. But what I was just talking about was, first we do loot, then I'll get back to that. But, oh yeah, I also need to loot the chest. But what I was just talking about is, this is, my kins were doing like a progression group. We went through Ingmar and now we're on Moria. And we have a few scattered people throughout, and I just didn't immediately recognize Rosburn. If you all have watched this again, he's actually our kin leader, Jimmy. He's also Jimmy Thornshield on Twitter. He posts a lot about LOTRO. His characters anyway. Annie, and then Rosburn was the one I didn't recognize. We also have Gunlog and Lydian as regular members pretty much. Okay, so I think we are good to go. Oops, I think I was in the travel form of Baron, that's why I couldn't use my skills. Whatever that's called, Wanderlust, where you go up to 40% movement speed. As far as I know, hunters cannot get that high as like a semi-permanent, not really a short duration run speed buff. I know guardians have a very fast one with charge, I think it's called. But yeah, Beorning's, as far as I know, 40% is the fastest. I don't know, I know the blue line hunter, they have a trait to increase find the path movement speed, but I don't think it goes that high to where you'd be at 40%. Oh, it looks like we got some worms, and I just ran into another one. I didn't even see that. It's nice to be, I guess I streamed LOTRO yesterday. My sense of time the past couple weeks has been way off just because I had a very weird schedule for me. It's probably going to be a more normal schedule. I'll just have to get used to it. But like, I basically went into school today, which I usually don't do on the weekend, but it's probably going to become something I do every Sunday now. For both school and work purposes, but it's just unusual and something I have to get used to. And like yesterday, I did stream LOTRO in the afternoon, and that's a good time for that, but it just feels like it's been 2 or 3 days since I've actually done anything, since it's been a couple long days. Okay, so it looks like, oh yeah, this is a tough boss. I think last time we might have ran this with 5 people, and I think our group composition wasn't, I don't think it was a bad group composition, but this one's pretty good. So I'm going to be focused on interrupting the boss. so we take this boss to the light. Here's some weird noise. I don't know if you all heard that. It kind of sounded like a screwdriver, really, is what it sounded like to me. He has a debuff. He is not taking much damage, or a buff, I should say. He has minus 100%. Spires of out of combat. Plus 20% incoming ranged and tactical damage. He is in the light, right? Yeah, he has Light's Pain, so that's minus run speed, increased induction. I guess the little Darklings, I don't remember this part of the boss where he took like barely any damage from melee. But I guess that's a buff he has this time for us. I remember we would get one shot maybe? Or at least other members of my group would. I don't remember getting one shot. I don't really remember this, what exactly was killing everybody, but he is going down pretty slowly right now. Something's doing, that I'm doing, is like 600 damage. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe my bleed? I wonder if he's taking full damage from Rake somehow. And one thing is, this says it's Darkling's Mimicry. And the Darklings themselves are actually the ads we're getting. Sometimes we got other ads and I think they were pretty dangerous and probably won't ran into more issue in general. Looks like he's still minus 100% incoming melee damage. But yeah, he's still taking damage from something from me. I think it might be the bleed, and I know Beasting, Beestorm. Maybe that's the one that's doing the 700 ticks for me. Hey, Lazy Frank. Well, looks like we got just about everybody to do that fellowship maneuver. It's probably a good thing. I assume that actually works damage-wise. Maybe the wounds do damage. I don't know, just because it's common damage, if that would be negated. Even though it's not like technically melee by being a bleed, and we have like the hunters, they do a range contribution from the fellowship maneuver, but I'm just not sure how that would work. Slowly going down. Okay, looks like we have more Darklings again. I'll go ahead and try and get aggro on him. Get aggro on the Darklings, rather. I should have aggro still on the boss and get him in the light. Well, apparently we're supposed to do a blue fellowship maneuver, but hopefully, even without me doing that, that went. I think the hunter's got enough power. I'm guessing that's who it was for. Fortunately, as a Beorning, I don't have to worry about power, just Wrath. And I actually do have issues with Wrath. So, in the tank spec in particular, I know Red Line's a little bit weird with Wrath, and Yellow Line have issues with Wrath, but in the Blue Line, I usually don't have that many issues. I just build enough, but I've noticed playing instances a lot on this character more frequently than I basically ever have on a Beorning. Most of my instances in group content has been on this character. Looks like he's taking melee damage again, or maybe not. He's taking some, but not much. It says minus 100%, but I think he's actually taking a little bit more than minus 100%. But what was I just going on about? Oh yeah, this Beorning's actually the one I've done the most group content on. I haven't done too much yellow on him. I don't think I've actually done a full instance in the Yellow Line. I've done the turtle, we ran that. which is just a single boss, and I was doing some healing. I didn't have to do all too much, I don't think. We were surviving pretty decently, at least until the end, and another time I tanked it in the blue line, and that's the one I remember more. When I did the healing, we actually had a high level character and basically just blew through it very easily. This is an interesting pair of gloves. Probably one of the hunters want it, but it'd actually be a consideration for me, even though my gloves actually have tactical mitigation. That's pretty much what I'm looking for in my gear on this character. Tactical mitigation and anything that increases morale, so like morale or vitality. Oh yeah, I need to actually loot the chest because I can get my Medallion of Moria, which I have. I probably have a ton of those. Yeah, I have 177 Medallions of Moria. I just don't really ever spend them on anything. It's a bit weird. The sets, maybe some classes, they're okay on the pieces of gear you can get from that. I am dropping... Ooh. Hopefully I'm not dropping too many frames. I just saw I've dropped 950 throughout this stream, and I'm like... I see my playbacks going a little bit slow. But hopefully that is not too much of an issue. I was just looking over at OBS and saw I had a lot of frames dropped. I don't know if that just happened, if that's why my playback is a little bit off. Oh no, my playback's actually fixed. It's I've talked about this a little bit, but the YouTube Studio, I guess live streaming control panel thing they have that I do like all my settings and set up from, and it shows chat. That page bugs a lot and sometimes doesn't show chat, and sometimes the playback doesn't actually show, and sometimes it doesn't even let me start the live stream and doesn't work. But at least this one, I did get the stream started and it seems to be working okay. I think there's, yeah. You have to light these runestones. I'm not 100% sure, actually, on how you do that. I'm kind of curious if you have to drag something there or if they're just clickable. I never actually pay attention enough to see that. Looks like we are going reds here. At least two of us are. Probably wasn't even worth it for me. That one could be really dangerous. Usually ones with eyes like that are dangerous, and that one's about 3,000 damage. That's actually not too much. We are actually already on the last boss, so I know last time we ran this, it took way longer than essentially the 20 minutes we are so far. I think we have more DPS, a lot more DPS. I, again, don't remember the exact group composition we had last time. We had 5 players to start. We eventually picked up a second Beorning. And yeah, he has a reflect, so I can't do any damage over time. It does a lot of damage, the reflect. And then there's a couple ads that we have to deal with. There's actually going to be one ad at each like runestone. So I think we're just waiting for everybody in the group to get set up. While they're doing that, I want to take a second just to look at my build here. I need to actually get a screenshot of that. I'm kind of curious how that shows, if it actually shows anything. It doesn't look like OBS is showing me doing anything. It's the snipping tool that I'm using. Did you say a hope token? So I needed to use a hope token. Looks like we got our scrolls. I'll go ahead and enjoy my snack, which is a Beorn's honey cake. Does barely any. Of course, I don't need the in-combat power regen. It seems like the Beorn's honey cake, they should give wrath over time instead of power. Okay, so the boss I do need to aggro eventually. Oops, I used the wrong button there. I'll swarm that one, and I should be able to get aggro on the boss now. Looks like one of them, somebody started a fellowship maneuver on one of those. Hey Ryan, you said you've been... Oops, I was low there on the boss. I gotta... to him, maybe. There's a lot of roots and slows and just annoying things in general in this instance, unfortunately. Looks like that ad's about dead. Okay. So I'll try to get to that question in a little bit, just trying to get settled with this boss fight. It's a bit of a busy one. Oh, he has his reflect. I was totally messing that up. Alright, trying to remember this boss fight. So we pretty much just sit here, and when he has his reflect, I don't do anything. I also try to... So the purple one, that's when he gets his reflect. I think some of them did a yellow fellowship maneuver, which might not be great when there's a reflect, but hopefully they can out-heal it. If it even actually reflects, I don't know if that would actually reflect. Looks like we still have bleeding ears. I could have interrupted him, but that's okay. But for the next trait line video, I'm actually not sure what's up next. I would have to record something fresh. 2 weekends ago, I should not have used that bleed, and I should have used Bee Swarm. I was just saying I don't need to use my bleed and then use Bee Swarm on top of it. But I actually don't have any others recorded, so I have to record a new fresh one. Okay, looks like time to not deal damage. And 2 weekends ago, that is when I did a bunch of them, did a bunch of my guides. I actually did a few other videos. Looks like I'm on auto attack. Should not be on auto attack. Okay, next time he knocks me back, I guess I'll pull the other ads. But the next ones I plan to get to is, I need to update the minstrel one at some point. I don't know exactly when I will do that. Okay, looks like we pulled the overseers. I don't think this is a bad time for that, so that's good. I got knocked back, and that's when I was actually going to pull them myself. But it looks like they decided they just wanted to join the fight. But yeah, Warden, I don't think I actually said Warden. I'm very scattered brain right now for some reason. It seems like going to interrupt. But yeah, I would like to cover any class I have not covered. And I think I have actually covered every class now. So I have to go back and update ones that are more... Ooh. Took a lot of damage there. Have to update one that... Okay, too much to focus on with this boss here to talk about that. But now that I'm dead, actually the minstrel might have a res for me. Yep. Okay, so the first thing I plan to do is look back and see if any classes need to be updated. So I think Minstrel is one that needs to be updated, so I'll probably look about doing a Redline Minstrel one. The problem is I haven't played that class in quite a while, so I'm actually not sure. I'd have to find out more about that, about doing that. And then Warden is another one I want to get to. That one, even though I play the Warden and have a lot of Warden guides, I actually need to update the trait videos. There are some things that have changed with the class, and with that one I would actually like to do all three, blue, red, and yellow with that. I know blue isn't like really viable as far as tanking goes, tanking in-game content, but it's still a good solo spec, so I do intend to do with that. And then what would be next is maybe Champion. I have done a Champion Redline one, which is, it's kind of funny, the Champion was updated recently. I don't know exactly when recently, but it was updated recently. I wonder if I need to loot that boss for a quest item. Don't need any of these. I can roll on all the LI stuff. And then I need to loot these two chests, and I believe that is it for this instance. We will run, I'm thinking the 16th Hall was the other one we might run today. But what was I just going on about the Champion? So I did the Redline Champion, and it was funny because the spec has been updated. The Champion as a class has been updated recently, and updated since I did that video. But the build is actually the exact same, so it's kind of weird. Even though there have been some changes and all that, it just is all the same. So I was actually thinking about updating that, but I won't quite yet update it because of that. And then I will probably do the Champion Yellow line. That's one I think that needs to be updated. Now that I'm done with the boss fight, I can actually think about this a little bit better. Probably should have waited till after the boss fight to even start talking about that. But yeah, Minstrel, and then 3 ones for Warden. A Minstrel Redline, and the 3 Warden ones. Maybe next weekend or even later this week I could record 1 or 2 of those. And then after that, I would probably look to doing Champion and doing some other classes, other specs for classes I've already done, or anything else that needs to be updated. Guardian Yellow line, that's one I'd be interested in doing. I think the Guardian Red line one could also use updating. It's fairly new, I think, though. They have updated Guardian, I think, since I made that, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, I hope that gives you an idea of where I might be going with those, and I'm glad you enjoy those. They're pretty fun to make, even if they take a while. Hey Dinjarin, you said you don't know about now, but you used to have a better chance at tanking with a Warden and Blue line than any other, and the downside is that the damage is less than the red line. So yeah, the Warden, tanking in general in LOTRO, and this is more specifically at endgame as in level like 130, and really maybe level 100 and beyond, I think is when this really started, but tanking in endgame is more about mitigating damage and surviving big hits and just having a ton of morale rather than avoidances. And the Warden's not that good at defenses. They do have gambits that like buff their mitigation, but they're still, compared to the other tanks, not that good in regards to that. So as far as like tanking difficult content, they aren't that great because of it. I need to pay attention to this character's XP. I actually just forgot until I clicked that person and saw they had the XP disabler. I need to use the XP disabler when I get to like 337,911 XP. So I still have a little bit to go, but that was a good reminder. But yeah, with the Warden, unfortunately, it looks like I'm still dropping frames. About 1% of my frames are dropped. I don't know if it comes in like chunks or if it's just every once in a while. I think, yeah, we are on our break, so we're going to do the 16th Hall next. One thing on this character that I wanted to do was start going towards Moria. So I am going to start going to Moria. Not Moria, Mirkwood. Ooh-wee. And I don't actually see, so I want to go to Lothlorien. And there's actually no travel to Lothlorien, so I think the first hall is how I can get to Lothlorien. And from Lothlorien I can run to... First hall I can run to Lothlorien, and then I can go to Karis Gladden. That's where I was thinking specifically. I don't know if I can actually get inside Karis Gladden. I don't know if you still need reputation, but getting to Mirkwood and starting that is kind of the next step on this character. So one thing, I have my return to skill here. I wonder if I could go to Dunland yet and get that. I think you need to be level 65 to actually have that unlocked. Like if I use the Mithril coin to travel there and actually unlock the Dunland Swift Travel. Stand Guard I might be able to do. That is, the Great River is level... Oh, no, that's the same level. That's like 70 to 75. Dunland's Galtrav's actually a little bit earlier. But yeah, I'm thinking I need to be 65 for that. So just looking for a place I can travel to and from 21st Hall easily. I don't see any. So I'm thinking about leaving my milestone here, but I actually don't know if I need that much back in Moria. I am doing these quests and things. I guess I should have probably accepted this quest to defeat 100 enemies in Dark Delvings first. So, Ivan, you said I still need to get rep to get into Karis Gladden. Yeah, that's the way it used to be. I know, I didn't know. For some reason, I thought they might have updated it so you don't need the reputation. But anyway, if I want to go to Mirkwood, I guess I'll go ahead and take a swift travel to the first hall. Having this character in Mirkwood's going to be a little bit odd since we're still doing the Moria instances and I'm going to be capping at level 60, but I think that is going to actually make it interesting as well. Just doing a lot of the quests under leveled at least. I don't know how many quests I'll be getting through on this character during streams like this, especially like today and even the past couple of streams on this character. I'm basically starting it right when we run the instances and finishing it right when we finish up with the instances, and that's what it's going to be today. I don't know how much longer we're going to be doing the 16th Hall. I don't know if we'll do much after that. I might try and see if we can do Filical or the Turtle raid, and I think this is where I needed to go, right? I didn't actually double check, and yes, this is where I needed to go. But I got that swift travel, so that's going to help a little bit. And I can switch to a horse. I don't know what horse I want to use. I'll try the Gondor steed. Oh, that's from the Great Wedding that I got that on this character. The only thing is, I get the whole point of the pole and the banner and the white tree. I think that's supposed to be the white tree. I get the point of that, but I wish you had the horse like an option to turn that off. I would prefer the horse a little bit more without that, I think. There are a ton of quests here, but I don't plan to do these. I plan to skip straight to whatever that place is called, Mirkwood. I'm still dropping frames, it looks like. If the frame dropping is too much, y'all can let me know and I can restart the stream with a slightly lower bitrate. But you all can just let me know if that's an issue. I normally don't have issues. My internet speed I know is slow, but usually it's enough to do this. I've gotten so accustomed to having a worsted to travel. I know on this server for a while we didn't have them, but I've gotten so like used to it. I feel super slow when I don't have it, and this isn't, I mean, this is a fairly big area, but it's not like a really big area. I just feel like I'm running through this super slowly on the steed, and it's 78% speed. I don't think it actually shows in here. Here it is. But yeah, it's 78%, which is fast for a mount. It's the journeyman riding speed. But anyway, compared to a worsted, it just makes it feel super slow, and it's a little bit of a weird feeling. So I was just thinking about this in the last stream I did on Louis, and I actually talked about it. That was yesterday afternoon. Again, that still feels like it was a couple days ago, but anyway, in that stream I was just talking about like speeding through areas on the worsted. It's used for travel mainly and not really mounted combat, but going back on a lower level character like this who has not unlocked it, this is a very beautiful area. We're getting kind of transitioning into the Lorien part of Lothlorien, I think it's called. And that's like the Dimril Dale, if I remember correctly. Ooh, it looks like we're ready for the 16th Hall. It's also very pretty at night. It's like well lit, surprisingly well lit. If you actually went into a forest like this at night that's covered by trees especially, it'd probably be super dark, but it's nice and bright out here. This is the 16th Hall. For some reason I thought it was like Filgashen. I guess they look kind of similar. They're both overtaken by orcs and buildings, I guess, inside Moria. Moria itself is almost like a whole building. It's like a huge cave that is structure-ified, but yeah, these are, I think, more Globsnaga orcs. These look like they're regular orcs though, but I thought this one had more Globsnaga. Maybe that's a little bit later. I need to take all of these too. If I actually deconstructed all of these, I don't think I have my town services item thing. Yeah, I don't have that. But if I went to the LI relic person, that would save up a lot of inventory spaces. I might actually get my inventory full here. Oops, got one more notification. Sounds like we are ready to go, which means it's time to pull some orcs and kill some orcs. Yeah, I feel like I've been going with the stream about 40 minutes now, but I finally feel like I'm into the flow, into the mindset of actually doing this and playing LOTRO. Kind of in general right now. As I mentioned at the beginning, if anybody wasn't here, I basically got home, took a shower, and ate dinner very quickly, then jumped right into the stream. And I was actually a few minutes late. The group already started, the instance Dark Delvings. So I was just like joining in the middle and suddenly tanking and starting the stream all at once. So it just took me a little bit to get into the right mindset, I guess, for playing and streaming. So this instance is weird. It's one, I actually really like this instance, first of all. It's got some defilers, which their totems and their slows can be annoying that we just had, but I think it's a fun instance. It's weird though because see, going through Moria the first time on the server, I think I ran it once, if even, I think I ran it once, But it's just an instance of all the Moria ones. It's like the one I've run the least. I've even run it fewer times than Scumfill. That one's surprisingly common, but for some reason it's just another one I think of being ran infrequently in general. And then Jaren, that is Jimmy. You see there, and I agree, he is cool. This is actually Jamal, his burglar alt. Who has an interesting outfit. He has a mug in his left hand, and I think he's holding some bread. But I'm not really saying that complaining about his weapons. He still deals a ton of damage with them somehow. I assume the bread is very hardened. I'm not sure. A nice, like, I don't know the word, soft piece of bread would be all that strong of a weapon. It's also a wonder with all his equipment how he can actually stealth. Sounds like we're going to try to get an Oathbreaker's Fellowship maneuver. I know Jimmy, he loves doing the Fellowship maneuvers. We used to do them a lot more as a kin in general, but we haven't done them too much lately, so it sounds like we're going to be trying to get Oathbreakers going. Interrupt that orc. I think he was doing a heal. Something said immune. I don't know if I just didn't get my interrupt off in time. It wasn't an immediate one. That interrupt that's on 6 in the bear form is a fast skill, but it interrupts and then gives an incoming damage debuff. I think that's actually something Yellow Line. One of the reasons I talked earlier about how Yellow Line Beorning is viable healing, but they also have a lot of support. We actually got it. We almost missed it, but there's our Oathbreaker. Greater Noble Spirit. And he has... oh, that's just the minstrel buff. Is he following Lydian around? Okay, so I just pulled a bunch of orcs. It's one of the fun parts about this instance, except Relentless isn't actually going off. I was going to try to pull them out of line of sight, and now we have that Oathbreaker fighting for us, which is pretty nice. I don't know how much damage he does or how much he contributes if he does any of the captain type buffing or debuffing. A little bit slow on that one. I wasn't ready for another fellowship maneuver there. Yeah, Jamal's using the Bread of Death. It's not the bread I use to make my Beorn's honey cake. Actually, I don't know. Bread and cake seem a little bit similar. I don't actually eat cake. I don't like cake, but it has like the bread icon. That's what made me think of it a little bit. But anyway, the whole point is it's not the good bread that I eat. Oops. Oh, we killed that orc too fast if we were gonna try to get another Oathbreaker. I wonder how similar Gundabad is going to be to Moria. So I don't even know if Gundabad, when they make that expansion next year, if it's going to be underground like Moria, or if it's going to be kind of a mix of underground and above ground. Because at least as far as I know, Gundabad is a mountain like Moria, but Moria is specifically a cave in the mountain. I don't know if Gundabad is similar or if it's just the general region, and there are probably some caves in the mountain and some buildings. Alright, I guess we're going this way. I wouldn't mind going south just to kill more orcs, but this is okay. Oops. Oh, this is the... Okay, we'll get... Just gotta be careful to not pull the boss here. Uh-oh, might have pulled too many, but that is maybe okay. I have my debuff sacrifice on the minstrel, so I'm actually taking extra damage from that, which is better than the minstrel dying, but that just means I am taking a lot of damage, which means we need extra healing. And that means this is a tough fight that... I thought I was talking about something at the start of this fight, but I don't really remember. Probably a bit hard to get a fellowship maneuver in right here. Okay, I need to start making sure I have aggro of all these ranged guys. And we don't have enough orcs fighting us. Oh, I tried to switch to the archer before my interrupt actually went off. I don't know how much it matters with their different inductions, if it's just like a strong damage over time, or for some reason I wasn't really paying too much attention, but I thought that orc, what kind of made me talk about that was that it looked like it used some rain of arrows type thing. Oh, I somehow missed these guys in the corner. I can't just let them go before this fight finishes. I kind of wanted to pull that whole room. But it might have been a little bit too reckless. And didn't Jaren, you said in that place you need Capo. He is the most reckless Spartan you know. Yes, Capo is reckless, and he actually is in this group, just on a different character. He is the healing minstrel. Accidentally let aggro drop on the boss, but it's okay. I think this boss is pretty simple. We just kind of run around a little bit when he does his little poison pool things. Which reminds me, I don't know why I randomly thought of this, but there is a burglar skill called Provoke. I think it's called Provoke, but that is a range skill, and I did not know that on my burglar. Like all my playtime on my burglar, and recently I even made a redline guide on them. Even with that, I did not realize the skill was ranged. For some reason, I always thought it was a melee skill, and then one time I noticed, I was like, I'm kind of far away, and that skill actually went off, so I actually took a minute to look at it. And even though you do an animation like stabbing an enemy, with it, it's more provoking them, and it kind of makes sense with the skill name and even something like that. But that was just a really random thing. Oh, one of these orcs died, but then we got a bunch of crawlers. Having a warden would be nice in this group though. We have the Runekeeper on DPS, they have some decent AoE DPS, but the warden has a lot of the good AoE dots and that type of stuff. I think that, yeah, that's a dead end. Just need to turn the camera up. Couldn't quite see up that far. Oh, Lord Braveheart? That is a good point. I need to go back and loot the chest. I forgot to loot the chest, so I will be right back. Thank you very much for the reminder. I have a ton of medallions in Moria, but leaving loot like that, I can't do that. And they should be fine without a tank for a little bit, maybe. See, I saw the burglar's health drop down to like half, but looks like they're getting back up. I have a debuff. If I stop turning up the steps, I can look at it. So that just does... That's a 300-second debuff, so that's a really long time. Go ahead and remove it. Actually, I wanted to look at it, but it did damage, but it was every 10 seconds. So it's just an interesting debuff. Oh, nope, that's on cooldown. I actually try to interrupt him sometimes. Sometimes I try to do useful stuff like that. I think it's just too fun to use Vicious Claws right after. It's really fun to use right after Biting Edge, because Biting Edge has a long animation. Canceling that is fun. Looks like I lost a few of them. I should have them all off cooldown. Yeah, my inventory, with all the loot you get in these, getting full, and I'll have a lot of stuff in my overflow. Okay, I'm not even paying attention to where I'm running. I don't know if I pulled both of those groups, so I actually didn't even mean to this time right away. I was just looking at my overflow inventory and then ran into some enemies. Oops, and I am hitting all the wrong buttons there. I really want to hit that orc because, I mean, all these ones are getting in on the AoE. But the burglar probably did a lot of hard work to daze him. Alright, there we go. Oh, it's an archer, so he would have been ranged anyway. Oops. Missed that one. Or... I don't actually know what that Glob's Naga was. It was a crazed one, but he was like a one-hit type mob. Right, I think I actually have control of most of these mobs somehow. I think there's a puddle of bad stuff somewhere, but it's a little bit hard to see. Yeah, I just saw that. It's super weird. It was, somebody was talking about the disease, how it lasts 5 minutes, and I think it is pretty unusual. I don't see many diseases like that in LOTRO, even though diseases in a way make sense that they could last a while, even any effect, but diseases in particular I think are ones that would make a little bit of sense to last a while, and that one just lasting 5 minutes, it might be one of the longer ones in LOTRO. I know some other games, thinking specifically World of Warcraft, the diseases in that game sometimes last like 20, I meant 10 minutes. Some might even last 20 minutes, I'm not entirely sure. Alright, well that was a fun pull. We got out of it safely. We going to split up? So last time we split up and it did not work well. So I think we're all gonna go the same here. That's the only reason I brought it up. I didn't actually think we could split up. That's not how I remember it. There weren't quite as many orcs as I had hoped from that pull. I actually don't even know if these can be called orcs. I don't even know if I have an Orc Slayer deed to actually check that. First of all, but they are Globsnaga, they're kind of Globsnaga orcs. But I guess they are still considered orcs even though they're Globsnaga. Because they're like Globsnaga spiders, they're still considered spiders. That sort of stuff. I remember these instances used to be fairly hard for us. Our group's probably getting a little bit better gear. We're overall higher level. We actually have been somewhat higher level for a while, but I think we have a good group composition here. I also, as far as like my tanking goes, I've gotten better gear over time, more defensive, probably upgraded my virtues quite a bit, especially the last weekend when we had a bonus weekend. Like my fidelity, just got my tactical mitigation and my morale with honor up. Probably switch to loyalty instead of fortitude eventually. And that's better at very high level. Wow, you can get very close to him without him aggroing. That's crazy. I don't know how he doesn't see me. Oops, I was kind of slow on that fellowship maneuver. Definitely meant to hit it, but it doesn't look like we want to doing the Oathbreakers one. And thanks to Lord Braveheart, I just saw the message to not forget to loot the medallions in the chest, so I'll be sure to stick around. Do that. Somebody interrupted him. I don't know if it's actually my Vicious Claws or perhaps the Burglar. Roll. Outgoing healing and the evade rating. That's a bit odd. I mean, the evade rating's okay for a tank that self-heals. The outgoing healing's not bad for something like a Warden. If we had a Warden, and the Warden would probably find better stuff because the will isn't good and you can just find more useful things, but it's just interesting. None of those stats on their own, the evade rating or the outgoing healing, is something I would actually consider using that for, but kind of thinking where it could be used. Even for a healer though, having a little bit of the evade rating. So I have to run all the way to the Queen. I have no idea where the Queen is. There's a fungal guard. Oh, here's the Queen. Oh, these ones have like tiny health. I know I'm using my dot on them, but they only have like 600 health. That's an easy one shot, I think, from most people at least. Wonder if there is a Grodbog Slayer. Looks like if there is, I've already done it. So, Dinjarin, you have been away for so long you'll need to time at the sparring dummy with a 75 Warden. And then you should be back within a week, so that's exciting. But yeah, with the Warden, definitely some time at the training dump here, just like hitting enemies would be a good thing. Looks like I'm actually going a little bit slow here. There, I got that queen about halfway down. I think we finally got 2 queens at once, but the other one is ranged, so I can't do much. Wow, the charge Fieldgright runestone. It's a very strong runestone there. Defeated so many of the Grodbog, the little ones. One more. I don't know if I caused something. I don't know what happened to the minstrel. It's entirely possible that I totally messed something up there with aggro. Would think there's oops, I meant to heal the burglar, not myself. Don't think he's taking damage anymore, but to be safe. So I think we're trying to get a res on the minstrel, but we're in combat with probably a Grodbog up somewhere. Oh, I just had a sneeze and it hit me a little bit sudden. Did you get it? Okay, so in the last group event, you remember I had my lore master. You remember Bad Hat Mary and Jimmy. Can't recall what it was. Ostunhoth, maybe? It was a year ago. So my lore master never got to that. If you're talking about Ostunhoth. Trying to get to the boss room, I need to go to the northeast. We were doing the Rift of Nurzgashu. I did that on my lore master. Also did Helagrod, but then I switched to mainly playing my Warden even, especially by the time Moria came out. Oh yeah, we can't do AoE. This is single target only. Actually, I have to be extra careful to not use them, so I'm going to put those up over there. Even this one I'll move out of the way. But yeah, that was a long time ago. It was probably over a year ago, maybe like 2 years ago. I had my YouTube break. I was in my YouTube break a year ago, and Ostunhoth, I don't remember if I actually streamed that. That would have been more recently if I did. I don't remember if I've actually streamed that since returning. We run it sometimes as a kin, the low level version of it, just for like fun and to get the mechanics down a little bit. It scales pretty toughly at this level, or at like level 65 to 95. Or really more specifically 65 to 85, I should say. We tried to step in the level 85 version, but it was pretty tough. Even the 65 version, running that at 85, it was a little bit tough, and it's kind of similar, the Tower of Orthanc Tier 2. Tower of Orthanc Tier 2. I think it's Tier... Oops, oh. Accidentally used an AoE. I have reflect gear. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. I don't know if we can reset. And my inventory is full, but I can try to take it off. Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, I can't do that in combat, so... Sorry, I totally messed that up. I forgot about it. So, sounds like I might get kicked out of the group, and then that might teleport me out for us too. There we go. That was really weird. So we didn't fail the challenge. They kicked me from the group. I'll be invited back, but because I had reflect gear on by accident, and I needed to take that off because we can't kill the Grodvog workers, the ones with like 500 health there, and I even accidentally used an AoE, so I already almost messed it up. And then I was reflecting on top of that. Need to also move this way out of the way so I don't use that again. I was just like totally not paying attention at the start of the fight, but then the reflect gear, that would have been an issue anyway. So I have a pocket item with reflect, and what else? That might be it. It might just be... Oh no, this one reflects as well. And I just sorted my inventory. I actually did not want to do that. Okay, so there's my pocket item. Wonder what LI I'm using. I'm still using a 57. I guess I'm waiting to get a level 60 first stage. Once we run turtle enough, I should get enough tokens for that. But other reflect gear, I have this one, and then I might even have one more than that. No, that's it. Pretty sure at least none of these have it. I guess I can double check. This is reflect. Not a reflect, but any damage I take, it can give me devastate magnitude. But there we go. I should be set up and should be better off with this fight. At least we didn't fail the challenge. We went through like this whole instance. Of course we want to do the challenge. It's fairly easy if you don't have reflect gear, which is very common, it seems like, in Moria. And if you don't use your AoEs. So two things I totally messed up on, but otherwise it's a straightforward challenge to not kill the ads and just use your single targets. So will there be a Gundabad expansion after all? That is slated to be the next expansion. So the little bit of info we know is that it is coming after update 28. That could mean right after, as in the next update after update 28, so it could be update 29. The only thing, there's actually a couple reasons I don't think it would be update 29. And the first one is we had, oh, looks like there's a couple fungal guards here. I wonder if they, oh yeah, they fall all the way down. That's okay. I'll hit them with my damage overtimes while we're slowly running away. Then need to go to the northeast here. But yeah, Gundabad is going to be the next major expansion. At least that's what it sounds like the plan is. And the first reason I don't think it will be the next update, or at least won't be in the next few months like the first one of 2021, is because the War of the Three Peaks is a mini expansion. I doubt they would do like a full expansion right after the mini expansion. I would think they'd want about a year break. And the second is that would be kind of a bad time to release a full expansion. They usually do that type of stuff. And yeah, I think we have a couple Grod Bogs, which hopefully they drop down here. But yeah, releasing a full expansion at the start of the year probably wouldn't be ideal. They usually release stuff, and things in general are generally released later in the year, like this time of year. And they released Mordor and Minas Morgul later in the year, like in November. I think Minas Morgul was November, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was December even. And then there was also Mordor, which was released in August. So I'd expect sometime more around then. But I'm not 100% sure. I just know we're going to Gundabad after update 28 at some point. I don't know if there's a way up. I don't actually think there is to check on the mob. Maybe we should have actually killed the Grod Bogs. I saw the couple of them following and I thought they'd just like jump down here like they did the other one. They'll probably eventually get anti-exploit mode, but I feel like I'm messing everything up with this instance. I'll go ahead and just run back. Oh. I'm causing a big delay with this instance. First I had my reflect gear on the boss fight. Looking for the instance panel. There it is. These headphones are hurting my head and my ears right now. I'm still in combat, by the way. So I don't know if that means they're on me or not. That was kind of weird though. I did jump back in here. I jumped back in here and like I'm still in combat usually. If you leave an instance and come back, you get taken out of combat. No, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm thinking because I jumped. I also can't use Wanderlust because I'm in combat, so I'm a slow bear right now. Oh yeah, and with Gundabad, it won't turn up on the legendary servers for a long while. We're only getting up to, what are we on, West Rohan? Helm's Deep. And they've been out 2 years. And that's like 1 update was Moria, 2 Mirkwood, 3 Isengard, 4, 5 updates. Over 2 years. If they do like 5 more updates, especially depending how they do Gondor and Minas Tirith and all that sort of stuff, if they go to level 100, unlock all the level 100 content, and then do 105 and then do Mordor, that's like only 3 updates. Then they could do Arid Mithrin and Vales of Anduin as another, and then they could actually do Minas Morgul as the 5th one. So that could be in 2 years we could already be up to the end of Minas Morgul, basically up to update 28 War of the Three Peaks. If they do it like that, I would honestly hope they do it like that, but I'm not sure. I know one complaint. Oops, I just did the jumping way again. Oh, found them. Here's the Grodbogs that I caused some issue with. Or Gredbag, I think that's what their plural's actually called. Oops, I guess the minstrel already rezzed him, and that's probably a good thing. They probably still need their res deed. Which is something I'm working on, trying to get the fixed for the minstrel, if he still does need the res deed. Alright, so... okay. Yep. Okay, I think I am good with Reflex, so I think we are about good to go. Wonder if this character can get up to 15k morale. I don't actually remember. I think I tested it before, and it does look like it, 15.2. It's a nice threshold to hit. Okay. Well, something did 2.8k. I guess it was something I did. Probably Armor Crush could have crit 2.8k, I think, from what I used. Beeswarm does a ton of damage now. That's one thing with like my old Beorning guides. We talked about that a little bit earlier in the stream, that I need to update some of them, and actually with the Beorning, they're fairly up to date. Not much has changed overall, but Beeswarm is actually a lot stronger than it used to be. I also don't know the Redline one. I think in the latest Redline one I covered, the Execute is basically useless. But I think there are a few things I probably didn't cover and could update that. I also have like the 7 tips guides that I'm doing. That's going to be what's tomorrow actually, for the Warden, not for the Beorning. Wow, little Grodbogs went down super quick. Another piece of medium armor. These are always interesting to look at, but the one I have is better. The heavy armor piece I have. Guess I could roll on all this legendary item stuff. So we got done in about an hour and a half today. As far as our instances, our 2 instances, that's what we usually end up running. I actually don't know if I looted both of these yet. Oh, this one I must face the target, so I know I didn't loot that one. Yeah, we were about done, and then they actually mentioned turtle as I was typing turtle. So, this character, still trying to get him towards, I don't know if that's supposed to be water, if that's possible. Let's see. Yeah, that's the river. I was wondering if that was supposed to be the road. I was like, there's a huge off-sync between the road and the map, but that is the river that goes through, and I'm just trying to get this character to, not the Great River. I could consider that, but they're level 70. Probably won't have much luck there and won't be able to do any quests, but I want to go across the Anduin, the Great... I guess the Anduin is considered the Great River. I know the Great River is the zone. It's the name of the zone, but cross that into Mirkwood. Well, it looks like we're already started up with Villicle. Don't know if I will tank or heal or DPS or what this. I hope not DPS. Actually, I don't have a DPS spec set up, so if I DPS, I'll be DPSing in the tank spec probably. Which, having an off tank with this one, if we actually had like a full on level group and a more legitimate run, I guess would be the best way to call it. If we had that. We would actually want 2 tanks. Didn't Jaren, you said take care, Louie, and hope to see you in game soon. Thank you, and I hope to see you in game soon as well. And thanks for joining the stream, of course, and all that. I need more screenshots of Moria. I always forget about it. I should have taken more. Just in general on this character. I should have taken some today because I was just thinking about it earlier today. I'll try to get one of the turtle once he comes back. I think we're doing this as opening up to like LFF, so hugging it a little bit. At least I don't know. I doubt all these people are from the kinship. It is possible. Nope, we only have, let's see, everybody in the kinship's in the group. Cademan, the level 95 guardian there, is the only one that was not in our original group. We have somewhat on level 67 champion. I'm guessing by that character's morale. I actually can't even read this that well. This champion here, that looks like 45,000. Yeah, 45.5 thousand. I don't know if you all can read this. Probably not unless you're watching on like 1440p. It's very hard to see the morale. This champion maybe 11,700, and this 33399 for the Lore Master's morale. And 63 power, that's nice. And then the Hunter here, 20, I couldn't even tell, just 20 something thousand, but it's 29,000. So a lot of over-leveled people, but that's okay. Oops. Actually, I wonder if I've learned that on this character. I think I have the blue orb emote, but I might not have actually learned it on this character yet. Probably in one of those yearly boxes things, anniversary loot box things, Or not loot box, but just like gift boxes. I don't know if we're still waiting for somebody or what exactly we're doing here. I don't know how well I will tank, but I'll try to tank. I'll probably have to do a lot of taunting off the Guardian. I don't know if they'll be in tank spec, but if they are especially, I'll have to do a lot of taunting. The champion, just because he has a lot of morale, almost makes me wonder if he's in tank. No, it looks like regular DPS gear probably just has a lot of morale. Actually, a couple tactical mitigation pieces. I guess that's the crafted 95 stuff. I'm not as familiar with it. Not as familiar with the level 95 stuff because I'm just not doing too much with it, but I think a lot of people do use the crafted stuff. Oh, looks like we are getting one more member in. And then we'll be good to go. So we just gotta hope the new champion gets here. Just hope the new champion gets here in time by time the turtle respawns. But anyway, I want to be nosy again and look at the champion's gear a little bit more. Good ally first stage. It's okay. And then a couple gold pieces of jewelry, but I think that's mainly epic battle, so probably just DPS spec and really good gear just contributes a lot of morale. Like this piece has 408 vitality, that's a lot. Just a lot of morale with that. I think I have a skill missing. There it is, Biting Edge. Yeah, I'm trying to tank. Alright, gonna use another force taunt just for safety. Ensure I have aggro this whole time. Alright, now that he's a third of the way dead, we'll use a third force taunt. Here, I'll use another force taunt. Aha, I somehow main tanked that. All thanks to force taunts. Alright, gotta roll on the Mithril Flake, but everything else I don't really care about. Alright, so I think I have 4 Bright Emblems of Nimberdell, if I am remembering correctly, which means, if that's how many I have, oh, I have 3 of them. I think I need 3 more for my first stage LI, so I'm about halfway done with our turtle runs. I could just run it daily on this character if I actually bothered to log in and search for a group real quick. It'd be super easy, super quick to get, but I just haven't done that. But anyway, I'm guessing that is going to be it for our characters here. I'll probably get a little bit closer to Mirkwood, but not really starting that today. It's a good time for me to get wrapping up with things as I head east here. Guess I can go out of bear form and don't have to use Wanderlust. I can get back on my Gondor steed. A little bit odd to be using this in Lothorian, but that's okay. A lot of people still in the raid. Alright, gonna go ahead and leave that. And as far as upcoming stuff, I will have a 7 tips wording guide tomorrow, so that's very exciting. And then otherwise, I am not sure, to be honest. That's all I have planned for this week. Tuesday, I don't think I will get around to streaming or having a video. If I do something, it will be a stream Tuesday, but I'm really not sure. I'm expecting to have nothing that day, unfortunately. Wednesday is when I could get back, maybe doing some West Rohan on my Runekeeper, and then maybe later this week I can start working on some regular videos again and have some other stuff, more variety coming up. Also, if anything with update 28 beta, if anything new comes up with that, new build or anything, of course I'll do that. So that's just another possibility. I am going to get the Swift Travel, or I don't even know if it's Swift Travel, but the Stable Master here. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect from Discord there as I wrap this up again. But yeah, that's the outlook for the week, which is not much basically. What else? There was something else I thought, but I'm not sure. Did not mean to take a screenshot, but as far as this stream goes, I had a lot of fun going through the Moria instances and just jumping in like super hectically as it started, but that was fun. Doing Dark Delvings, that was a fun instance. We had a lot easier time this time, and then we did the 16th Hall, also had some easier time. Then I messed a few things up for our group, we'll say, with the whole Grod Pog and then having my Reflect gear on. So that was a little bit tough and hopefully not too annoying for everybody else. It was even a little bit annoying for me though. But anyway, that was all fun. And we did Turtle, and that's always a fun boss to just go in and quickly kill. And that is a good point to wrap up the stream. I'm pretty much right where I want to be. I actually don't know exactly where I want to be, so I'll just park him. Once I get up to, I think there's a crossroads. It looks like there's a milestone. I'll probably go right around there. But anyway, as far as this stream goes, I hope everybody did enjoy it and all that stuff with the Moria instances on my blue line tanking Beorning here. If you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing for more or becoming a channel member. Do support the content, and thanks for